Hi everybody, Dan Bickford here. It is time for the next episode of Carolina Rides. We've been having a great time with this so far. I hope you've been enjoying watching it, whether you're watching it on WSPA Plus or on the Carolina Rides YouTube channel. Of course, you can always reach out to us if you have any questions, if you would have any ideas for people or cars or shops or anything that we can feature. Go ahead and hit us up. You can find us on Facebook at Carolina Rides, on Instagram, Carolina Rides Official, WSPA, or on YouTube at Carolina Rides WSPA. Some of you may already be watching us there and have figured that out. If so, thanks, and hope to bring you plenty more material coming up here as we go through 2026. Speaking of material, let's get right to it. My guest today from Greenville Motorama, Joe Haniszewski. Big show coming up in March that we're going to be talking about here. First off, kind of a thumbnail sketch here. Like a 30-second elevator pitch type thing. What is the Greenville Motorama?
Greenville Motorama is all things cool on wheels. What we're doing is we're filling the Greenville Convention Center up with about 250 cars, motorcycles, and anything of interest to put them on a display. It's like a gigantic art show, and we're bringing cars from around 12 different states that are coming out to showcase for 3 days and bringing vendors and different features and attractions for everybody in the family.
Now, how long has this been going on?
This is the first year for the Greenville Motorama.
Okay.
We've done the show for 15 years up in Buffalo, New York. It was the Buffalo Motorama we ran, and we just ran its final year this past March. So we decided at the end of that show, we're going to make the announcement that we're going to come here to Greenville and bring the show here to have the large show in the Southeast.
Now, what was kind of the driving force behind you saying, hey, this is something I want to do?
Initially, when we started doing this, I've been into car shows for about 40 years. My dad's been big into cars. I've worked with him on it. We've built, restored, collected cars. So it's just of habit. So back in Buffalo, we were running car shows, cruise nights, cruise-ins, all the different types of events like that. And it started growing. And then what we did is we got more into websites to promote and market shows. So we put up a listing of all the car shows, all the cruise nights, and then we take pictures of all the different cars at the show and then put them online as a gallery so people could see all the shows. And then we had close to 1 million cars back about 15 years ago. We had about 1 million cars, pictures online just for people to see from the different shows we're at. So coming more towards doing the Greenville Motorama, there was a show that started in Buffalo in 1964, the Buffalo Autorama. And it's one of the longest running indoor shows in the country. And they ran that show for a while, and there's many iterations of that type of indoor event. But back in 2010, the show was stagnant for 5 years. It didn't happen. My wife and I were talking about it, and she said, if you could do it, go ahead and start running the show. So we started the Buffalo Motorama up and ran it for 15 successful years.
So what has been the process like in order to get that up and running here? What are some of the things that you've had to do in terms of hooking up with the car community and getting the convention center ready?
So we've been coming here for about 4 years and just doing some research and looking into the area for the move. But when we came down here, we saw that there's such a large automotive and motorcycle culture. And we said, well, the convention center is a nice large space, which is obviously helpful. And then we could bring together all the different aspects of the hobby, of the, anything that, you could fill into the convention center to showcase what's here in Greenville and the Southeast. So we were doing a lot of research on trying to find all the different shops and businesses and related to the event. And we said, this is a lot, and we could fill the building without a problem.
Now, about how many cars are you expecting, and have you kind of filled up your quota to this point?
So we're using Hall 1 in the Greenville Convention Center this year, and it's 600 feet by 200 feet, 125,000 square feet, and we're going to put about 250 cars and bikes and related in there. We're using every usable square foot of the room.
Now, have you filled up to this point, or are you still kind of reaching out to people who have got something special they want to show off?
We're getting really close to full, actually, which is a great feeling for the first year. And usually around this time frame, right before the show, we always end up getting a few extra, really special cars. And, we'll get people from out of state to come in and bring their, showcase something that they had maybe at the Detroit Autorama or one of the other large circuit shows. So A lot of surprises for not only the people that are going to come to the show, but also usually for me, because they'll call me up and like, hey, do you have a spot for you and for them at the show? And I'll make room for you. I'll find a spot to fill that.
So if somebody does want to get a hold of you and for information about how they can get involved in getting a vehicle in, what do they need to do?
They could go to greenvillemotorama.com, and the information's on there. And they could contact us also. Just send an email to joe@greenvillemotorama.com and, submit to us on what type of vehicle that they have and what they want to showcase. And, we'll take a look at it, send it to my planning group, and, usually accept it. We've had a lot of great, a variety, classics, late models, hot rods, exotics, a lot of great high-end builds and just backyard builds.
Yeah, I've got the website up right now, so that would be greenvillemotorama.com, and I'll have all the information about how to get tickets, the show, hours and dates. Again, that's Friday, March 13th through Sunday, March 15th. The hours are right there. And just a whole weekend's worth of activities. Do you have anything other than, obviously, the cars that people can see and some of the vendors that are going to be there? Do you have any special events that are going to be going on a particular day? For example, at X time on Saturday, you guys are going to be doing this.
So for the entire weekend, we're going to have different features on there. So we have the Southwest Brush Slingers, and it's a group of pinstripers and artists. And there's possibly going to be about 40 of them coming out. So they're going to come out, set up, and do their pinstriping art. We're going to do live auctions, and the money is going to go all to a charity, to the Greenville Shriners, the Hajaz Shriners. So they're going to be there Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. You could go there, you could watch them pinstripe, you could bid on some of the items that they make, as well as you should be able to bring something that you have that you want to get pinstripe from them. You could talk to them at the desk. We also have Ken's Customs, which he is a builder out of Georgia, and he's going to be coming in for the entire weekend. He's going to chop the roof on a coupe. So he's going to cut the entire roof apart and drop it and just do full customization right there in front of everybody to see. So you're going to see them cut, grind, weld, put it all back together through the entire weekend.
That's pretty fascinating. Now, how many cars is he going to be doing that with over the course of the weekend, and how long is that going to take for one?
He's going to be doing one car for the weekend and just stretching it out. All right. I think there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be asking him, about the process and just watching that. But he's going to just stretch it out throughout the weekend. So you could come all 3 days and you could watch the start to the finish. And then we also have one of our friends, Dennis Gage. He was the host of My Classic Car. We've had him at our show many times in the past, and he's a lot of people love to meet him. He's been hosting his own show for a while, and he'll come out, he'll sign autographs, but he likes to go walk around and just check out everybody's cars and bikes and just talk to them, get the story about what they did, where they got their car or bike, and just talk to them. It's just. He's a very personable guy, and people love to have him and just meet him in person at the show. Yeah, a lot of people coming out. How did you first get to the point where you were able to get in contact with them? Obviously, this is the first year of this show in Greenville, so you either had some leads or were able to network to get some of these people in. We've actually had Dennis at some of our events back in Buffalo. We've ran into him a bunch of times when we were up at SEMA and just built up a friendship with him. And he actually came and he did an episode at our event that we did at Alcott Beach in the Buffalo area. So if you look on his YouTube channel, you could also find the episode that he had on there. You get a cameo from me in the episode. Fun. And then he came to the Buffalo Motorama one of the years also. And he's just a great guy to have around. We're also working on possibly a couple other features or celebrities to bring to the show. So we still have a couple more weeks for the planning, and we're working on that right now. Okay, that sounds good. I mean, we've got a celebrity right here. Come on out. We'll set up a table. You can sign autographs. Yeah, well, I'm thinking of coming out anyway. I'm planning on trying to get there depending on how other things shape out schedule-wise. Also, I know you've got a group of TV and movie cars that are going to be out there. We have a group of TV and movie cars. We have a Knight Rider kit car, which is as close to the original from the TV series that you could get. A-Team van. We have the Christine, the Fury from the Christine, and we have the 1960s Batmobile. that are going to be coming out, and they're going to be on display. You can check them out. You can get your pictures with them. They're very nicely done replicas that, people love to see this. It's nostalgic for them.
Yeah, I've seen occasionally you'll see something like that. It'll cross an auction block at one of the bigger auctions. So there's obviously a few of them out there somewhere. But I mean, that's not something that there's necessarily a whole bunch of.
There's not a lot of them around. And the people that build them, there's a true passion for this. Like Dwayne that owns the Knight Rider kit car, it talks to you. He talks into it and it talks back to him and responds to him. It's got all the lights, all the buttons. It has everything that like the original kit from the TV series had. I love that car a lot. I'm excited to have that here because people are going to really enjoy seeing that one as well.
Now, you sent along a group of pictures of some of the cars that are going to be there. If you can, I've got them up on the screen. If you kind of walk through a little bit about some of these and what they are, and some of those are going to be the TV and movie cars too.
Right. So, I mean, right here you have a 32 Ford. I can't remember the area this is coming out of, but like I said, we have vehicles coming out of 12 states. So we have people registered all the way from New York all the way to Texas. So they're coming down to Greenville just to showcase their cars. We got a nice 58, 59 GMC pickup truck. The trucks are huge this year. They've been for the past couple of years, but a lot of people used to just drive them around and, your barn find patina type truck, but now they're just full build show cars. You got your Plymouth, your Barracuda, your classic Barracuda there. That's my 66 Chevelle that we built, brought that down from New York State. So we hope to have that on the show. There's our A-Team van. Maybe we'll get Mr. T to come out of there sometime. Original Batmobile, and then your Christine 58 Plymouth. And then Greg Porter, he's huge in the area and the hobby. He has that Dodge toter, but he's also got his Night Stalker 55 gasser. He's going to be bringing out a couple of his gasser cars. He's got a great collection and a large tie-in to the area of vehicles that he's owned or collected throughout the years. But everybody knows Greg, which is the fun part.
Okay, we are going to take a short break here. When we come back, we're going to talk more about some of the other vendors, some of the other things you can do there at the Greenville Motorama. And we're also going to talk a little bit about something we haven't talked that much about on Carolina Rides to this point, and that's the motorcycle side of all of this. We'll have all of this when we come back. Stay with Carolina Rides. Everybody, welcome back to Carolina Rides. Joe Haniszewski from Greenville Motorama is joining us today. All right, we kind of have the thumbnail sketches to some of the things that are going on at Greenville Motorama. A couple things we've talked about and you kind of alluded to. One is the presence of the trucks, how many trucks there are and customized trucks. Is that something you were going for? Is that something it just happened to be? And what is the fascination that a lot of people have with the trucks?
Trucks over the past maybe 5 to 10 years have just grown immensely. You used to see just a couple of them driving around and they were just, your beat up old pickup truck. Now you're seeing, your patina trucks, you're seeing a full restoration with, custom frame and suspension and engine and everything else done to it. It's just such a variety of what you're going to see now. And the amount of those that have registered for the Motorama is incredible. And there's, like I said, there's a wide variety of them coming out from just, a fun farm truck to a show truck. And the amount of people that actually have those now it's grown. I mean, trucks are hot, and you used to be able to go out and buy a pickup truck for, $3,000, $4,000. Now you're seeing them just like on Barrett Jackson auction going for like $300,000-$400,000 for a custom build. So trucks are hot.
Now, you mentioned anything from a farm truck to something fully customized, kind of in general with the cars that are coming in. Is that kind of the spread where some are kind of like, well, that is original, and some are something that are just tricked out to the nth degree?
You'll see some that look like they're original or just rusty and patinaed, but underneath them, the entire truck has been redone. The new engine, suspension, brakes. It's almost like a sleeper, but it's not. But something like that, you see a lot of people doing that. And the thing is, too, is it's also cheaper. You don't have to go and spend a lot of money on a paint job, and you just got to leave it looking original, which is still very cool looking, and you save a couple dollars on actually the paint, and you put it into mechanics.
Now, we've also talked about the fact that there are going to be some motorcycles there too, and that's kind of, a lot of times at the shows, those are relatively underrepresented. I've been to a couple local shows where there's a motorcycle category, and you might see 2 or 3. Roughly how many cycles are you getting, and I mean, what kind of things are we looking at here?
We're looking to have around probably 35 to 40 motorcycles come out to the show, and there's a variety of those, from original restored 70s and 80s bikes up to full custom baggers and just the whole variety in between. We start getting a lot of motorcycles that come out right towards the end of the registration time for the show. So we're expecting probably a lot more to come in, within the upcoming weeks.
All right, we also talked about some of the assorted people who you're going to be able to meet, or people who are going to be doing things. What are some of the other features or vendors or the types of things or people who will be out there?
We'll have many automotive-related vendors. We have people like Rear Dragway is going to be coming out, and we have a builder, BNC Customs, from out of New York, and QuickTime Performance. There's many related automotive and motorcycle related vendors, and then we're going to have we have a marketplace that has crafters and just anybody that wants to sell some goods, like snacks and just a whole variety of things that you could get.
And to go over one more time some of the ones that you've already mentioned, anything in particular about the Roof Chop or Dennis Gage or the Southern Brush Slingers, anything special that you want to mention about any of those?
Kent's Customs also he's going to be doing the Roof Chop, but he's going to be also coming out, and he's going to be bringing a couple of his builds that he's going to be debuting next month at one of the shows on the West Coast. But you're going to have a few high-end cars that you see at these large shows, typically over on the West Coast or SEMA. We also have a car that Kindig built out of Utah. It's a 53 Corvette that they made out of all aluminum. It's got a V12 engine in it. This car costs millions of dollars to build, and it's just a complete custom. We're going to have that on display also with all our cars. We're going to have a row right in the center of the hall that's going to have 40 20 by 20 displays. So these are cars that are fully done with a display around it. It's the full presentation. That these cars usually go from show to show all around the Northeast and even on the West Coast.
Now, if somebody wants to come out to the show March 13th through 15th, can they get tickets in advance? Is that something you can walk up to the door and get any one of those days? Somebody who wants to go or is interested in going and is just in hey, let's have a showing, let's go there. What do they need to do?
You could tickets 2 ways. You could go to our website, greenvillemotorama.com, and you can buy. And you also get a limited edition poster with our event logo that's there on the website. You could also buy the tickets at the gate. They're $20 at the gate, cash. And also kids under 12 are free with the adult admission.
Is there anything special for the kids that would happen to be there at the show?
We're working on that. We have a couple of Star Wars costumers that are going to be coming out and walking around the show, so the kids could get their pictures with, some Star Wars characters. And we're working on some other possible superheroes that are going to be coming out as well.
Nice. So fun for the entire family. Let's talk a little bit about we talked about this briefly in the first segment concerning how you got started with the whole Motorama thing in Buffalo to begin with, and the fact you've been around cars as long as you have. And obviously it sounded like your father was a huge part in that for you.
Yeah, my father was into cars all his life. So he had a 66 Chevelle when he was a kid. He went to the service, and he just had different cars. And then when he had the kids, they didn't have the cars anymore. So we got back into it a while back. Myself and my dad have been into cars for probably about 40 years now. From 57 Chevys and Chevelles and pickup trucks. It's a fun hobby to have. And then we started getting more into the car shows of doing cruise nights, car shows, super cruises, and we ran a lot of the different staple shows back in Buffalo. We ran the large indoor show, which was the Buffalo Motorama. We ran large outdoor shows, which was our Alcott Beach Car Show, which had about 1,000 to 1,400 cars for just a single day event outside. And then we ran different cruise nights multiple days of the week. Now
it doesn't have to be anything custom or special, but it could be if it was. What was your first car?
My first car was a 57 Chevy two-door sedan, which I never got to drive or finish. I bought it when I was 15 years old, put it in my parents' garage next to my dad's 57 Chevy, and I wanted to work on it. I was a kid back then. I was 15 years old. I was riding my skateboard, riding my BMX bike, and so I just didn't put any time into the 57 Chevy.
Well, what happened to it after that?
We sold it, and then somebody parted it out, and
Oh,
it's kind of heartbreaking seeing pieces of the car that was in pretty decent shape to restore at a swap meet.
that's one of those things where if you have any attachment to the car, you almost want to get rid of it somewhere where you're never going to have to
Yes.
see any of it again. On the other side of the country, and then out of sight, out of mind.
It would have been nice if it went to the other side of the country, but yeah, I saw it, and then that was the last time I saw of it. So then after that, I decided, to get the cars that I have, drive them, enjoy them, and then you don't look back after you get rid of some. You get something more fun.
Yeah, we saw the picture a little bit earlier, and I'll see if I can cue this back up concerning the Chevelle that you have now. And you mentioned your father having something similar. Obviously, that was kind of an homage.
My father had a 66 Chevelle, 396, 375 horse. So when I was looking for cars, I really fell in love with the 66, 67 body style. So I picked up a 66 Chevelle out of Delaware. And then what we did is we decided to just do a couple updates to it. Instead, I met a couple different vendors at the Syracuse Nationals, and it snowballed into something more. So I wanted to make a little project out of it, and I decided to make like a SEMA build, and I use it as a marketing tool. So instead of having, a lot of cars have the fuzzy Dyson Cragers, which everybody's used to, try to build a car that has, mostly American-made components on it, and something that you could do in your own garage. So my dad, myself, a couple friends did this in 1.5 years in a 1.5 car garage and built a car from scratch. From everything on that car is completely changed, touched, and built differently than stock.
And what's that? From the outside, I mean, you can tell some differences, but I mean, it keeps the general character of it. What are the inside specialties on this, the interior?
Well, the interior's got a full custom TMI interior in it. It's got a gear vendor's overdrive. It's got a Mike Janis build, big block with about 550 horsepower. We named the car Sinister. So on the fender emblems and the quarter emblems, we had a logo made, a friend designed for me. And what we did is we made emblems for that. And then we took all the chrome that was on the car and we made it monochrome. So we just ceramic coated it so it had a different look to it. So it blended with the wheels. It's kind of made a modern version of what the car would be.
Now, previous to you owning this and working on this, any other cars that you had that were projects? And at the same time, is there anything that you would like to do with that in the future, either that car or maybe something else?
I got a 59 GMC 100 fleet side pickup. That's going to be a fun toy. I like driving that around. It's got the nice patina on it. But that eventually just put a different suspension, do an LS swap on it, and just make it into a more drivable car. The nice thing about being in South Carolina now is back in Buffalo, we had to have winter cars. We tucked our cars away for 6-7 months in our garage. We just lifted the cover, looked at it and said, okay, I'll see you in about 3 more months. Around here, you could drive your car or truck or motorcycle all year long, except for when you have snowstorms. And
past couple of weeks have been rough.
Past couple of weeks. So I had to put mine away, which I'm used to. So, but for most of the year, you could drive them around. You see a lot of the classic cars and bikes driving around in the area, and it's just a great thing. So I don't even have a regular new vehicle. I have a 1988 Chevy Suburban that I drive around. I don't have to have a daily driver. That's like new. I could have something fun and enjoyable, and I don't have to worry about salt and rust.
Now, speaking of fun and looking forward, obviously we've got Motorama coming up, and you've probably got ideas in your mind for next year. Is there anything that you would like to do, anything you would like to see going forward?
Well, we're already in talks for a Greenville Motorama 2027. Just make it bigger, and we already have people that are interested. They weren't able to come this year. They're going to come next year. So we're already planning on that. So as soon as the show ends this March, we're going to start planning the next day. But we're also, I did a lot of indoor and outdoor shows back in Buffalo. And what we want to do is I want to bring some of the outdoor events out here and just combine the different groups and just the hobby and industry in the area. Because this area has a lot to offer in the means of clubs and industry and hobby and related to automotive and motorcycle. So I want to try to bring more together as a large scale events and have usually a charity aspect tied into it also.
Okay, sounds great. Time does fly. Joe, I'd like to thank you for coming in and talking about Greenville Motorama. I wish you the best, and I hope to see you out there.
Thanks for having me.
And thanks for coming. And once again, everybody, thanks for watching Carolina Rides. Until next time, drive safely.